Hello and welcome to Global Truth Center Toronto. I'm Rev Dale and we welcome you to our celebration of love. And right now I'd like to turn it over to Pierre to open us up with a beautiful song.
Driving down life's winding road, it might seem you've been paying the price, living someone else's dream. You got to make it your own and take your rightful place upon your throne. Even if you've been beaten to the bone. You're more than who you are. You're a precious stone. You're alive. Go for a ride. Go for a ride. Go for a ride. It may be dirt, it may be stone, whatever road you're traveling on, forks and turns will present their breathe the air. You're alive. Go for a ride. Go for a ride. Go for a ride, yeah. When the tank runs dry, the answer's not in the sky above. Inside, you will find the love. The love's inside. Don't let your love hide. Take your love for a ride. Go for a ride. Go for a ride. Go for a ride, yeah. Hop on a plane, expand your brain, walk in the rain. Sing a song, right or wrong, play along. Plant a tree, jump in the sea, live with glee. Meditate, go on a day, collaborate. You're alive. Go for a ride. Go for a ride. Go for a ride, yeah. Go for a ride. Go for a ride. Go for a ride. Go for a ride.
Thank you, Pierre. That I love that song. It is such a cool melody, and the words are just so perfect for what we're going to be talking about tonight. So thank you
Oh, wonderful.
for bringing that to us. It was just a great way to kick off our service. So
My
thank you.
pleasure. My pleasure.
I just want to welcome everybody who is here with us today, whether you're live or you're watching us at another time. We're grateful to have you in this sacred space. It's just a joy to gather together midweek and to be able to be free in who we are, to relax into the spaciousness of life and just allow ourselves to be nourished by spiritual inspiration, whether it's a song, whether it's a talk, or whether it's a meditation. We provide it all here, and I'm grateful you're all here with us today. And so what I would like to do is just center ourselves in prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you or not. Whatever makes you feel comfortable in this moment, I invite you to do that. As we just allow ourselves to tune into the center of our soul and just feel the life that dwells there. And as we come together in spiritual community, just knowing that in this state of oneness, we rise up and expand our consciousness. We're able to see within ourselves the beauty of life, to tune into that higher level of realizing who we really are as spiritual beings living in this time and space. And so I know that whatever we need to hear today, we hear it or we feel it, or we just allow ourselves to open up to a deeper level of understanding the nature of life and the power that we have to utilize this spiritual law that we live in and create our greatest life ever. And so, as this service unfolds, I am just knowing that we are receiving our good and just living into a higher place of being in peace, love, joy, and wholeness that is our innate way of being. So, with gratitude for all who are here tonight and anytime this is viewed, I'm grateful just to share the love and to be in this inspirational energy that is charging us up and allowing ourselves to stand in truth and remember who we are. And so I just let go, knowing all is unfolding perfectly, and so it is. And so I would like to welcome my friend Michelle, a practitioner here at Global Truth Center Toronto. And Michelle is going to lead us in a beautiful meditation. So Michelle, I turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Reverend Dale. So good evening, everyone. Bonsoir, welcome. It's a new year, new thoughts, new seeds, as we call them. It's a new life ahead of us in this moment. Change is upon us and we feel it, don't we? Again, I would like to wish everyone a happy new year and a happy, happy new year. We all deserve it. Let's all come to our natural senses right here where I am. Let's check in. I am conscious. I am aware. I am right-minded. I am upright. I rule my mind. I rule my destiny. I rule my city. I govern my city. So tonight I'm going to do some readings and affirmations about our theme, which is celebrate. And to us, to we, celebrating life, one must be at peace. And everything seems to fall into place. And how we get there is to glorify God, which is glorify us. And I think we're all there. We're in need of glorifying God, which is ourselves. So I want everyone to just say, Ah, Krishna, Allah, Buddha, Ah. That's all you're gonna need this evening in the meditation. At the end of the affirmation, I would like everyone to join me in taking a conscious breath in, and on the release of your breath, of the out breath, say, Ah. So let us begin. Relax. Listen. And feel. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Peace is an inside job. Before there can be peace anywhere in our world, there has to be peace within us. We create peace in ourselves by being still each day, by quickly forgiving others and ourselves, by seeing peace in every circumstance of our life. The peace we discover in ourselves automatically extends to others. The affirmation, I am at peace within myself. Ah. As we do personally, all of humankind craves peace. We support this yearning by visualizing peace for other individuals and the countries in which they live. We support this human desire by sharing our peacefulness with others in our home, our workplace, our nation. We support all peaceful activities of others. The affirmation, I support all humanity in its quest for peace. We are open and receptive to peace today and every day. That's how we come to live in a peaceful world. When we have a negative thought and we release it, we are announcing to the universe that we are ready to receive peace now. The wonderful aspect of peace is that it always exists in us now. We only have to be receptive to it. The affirmation, I am receptive to peace now. If we find ourselves communicating with others in a less than peaceful fashion, a conscious altering of the words we use can assist us in changing our mind to peace. Our words carry much power in them, and when we select them carefully to reflect the peace we wish to convey, we lovingly serve ourselves and the world. Affirmation, I communicate peace to all others today. Our listening is selective. When we hear upset, we are upset. On the other hand, when we hear peace, we are peaceful. Our listening always echoes our consciousness. But when we hear other than peace, we need to be still for a moment. Locate the thought that allows us to hear the upset and release. Then we will only hear peace. Affirmation. Today, I only hear peace. Even though peace is part of our makeup, we can learn about peace from the great teachers of the world and from our friends and relatives. We don't have to learn from a book or a classroom. We can learn just as easily from our daily interactions with others and through our powers of observation. When we open to learning, we are blessed. Affirmation. I am open to learning more about peace. We always teach what we are. We come from a place of upset. We teach upset. We come from a place of peace. We teach peace. When we deal with others, it is helpful to remember we are the teacher. Then we are more apt to treat them with love, with kindness, with peace. From that posture, we teach from our God self. Affirmation. I teach only peace. Many of us think of prosperity as money, whereas true prosperity is a happy heart. A happy heart is a heart at peace. When we are in fear, we feel lack. But when we are in peace, we feel full and prosperous. We walk in the woods, sit in the stillness, and feel the peacefulness all around us. We are then in touch with true prosperity. Affirmation. My peacefulness brings me prosperity. When we think of goodness, we very often think of being and doing good deeds. That is valid because good deeds are a correction from upset to peace. But being at peace in and of itself goodness. We needn't do anything to be at peace. When we get in touch with peace, we get in touch with the goodness at the core of our heart. Affirmation: my goodness brings me peace. If we struggle with our purpose in life and feel less than useful, it is valuable to take time to reconnect with the peaceful processes ever bubbling within us. We are never more useful than when we live life through our peaceful center. A few moments apart from our world, and we can sit in the quiet and join with our peaceful usefulness. Affirmation: I am useful because I am at peace. The peace of God surrounds you and fills you. That peace goes with you as a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Peace is with you now and forever. In this lovely vibration, just bring yourself back to the room. Open your eyes, look around, listen. Peace be with you always. Namaste.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
Thank you, Pierre. And just such a beautiful song. Oh, thank you. I
It is
love
a
that.
great song. That was actually Reverend David Alt who wrote that song.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
he's wow. Well, but you sang it so beautifully and touchingly. So thank you.
Oh,
I think we all
it was
got something.
my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Michelle is back to have a little conversation with me about our theme this month, which is what, Michelle? You already mentioned it.
It's celebrate.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
So, what does that mean to you, celebrate?
Well, this year means something different to me. It really means that I have to reconnect. I have to do a little more work this year for myself. I'm speaking for myself, of course. And a being comes to mind immediately. And I can only celebrate this. I can only celebrate in this way. And like I said in the meditation, when you're doing the work, everything seems to fall into place. I had a restaurant for many years, and when everything was in place, en place, the restaurant ran smooth. As soon as there was something missing or out of whack, there was issues, and it's the same in our lives. And so that first question is, what does celebrate mean to me? Right now, it's I'm going to do a little more work this year to make sure and that it starts here, because then I can celebrate
Yeah.
life, the beauty, and everything about it.
I appreciate your self-awareness around that. I mean, it's this time of year we tend to reflect a lot about what we want to do differently or what newness we want to create. So I really honor you for realizing there's some work to do to
Mm-hmm.
open up to being able to really celebrate ourselves. And by the way, I want to thank you for your meditation. It was awesome. It
Thank
was
you.
excellent. I want to acknowledge that I really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it. I'm sure our viewers did as well. So back to our theme. So so I know that you're doing work to be able to celebrate yourself more, but how has in the past, how has celebrating life and yourself shown up for your fullest expression of who you are?
Yeah, and again, I'm going to go. When you do the work and you do the self-love and you do the kind actions daily, I find that the results, you always go to bed feeling good. You wake up feeling good. Life is good. It can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I find this with celebrate, I find myself like celebrating like the little things. Like I had a little flu bug a few weeks ago, and when I got better, it's like I said, I'm celebrating my good health because it feels so good.
Yeah.
But just bringing that celebratory energy in, I think it really helps us keep that higher level of consciousness because it's like gratitude.
And rising above, right? We feel it for an instant. Well, I say an instant because that's how it feels, an instant, but sometimes it's longer. Um, but yeah, we need to, yeah. And when we do rise above, it is a celebration because we've done it. We've gone up that hurdle or whatever.
Yeah. So when you look back on just your entire life, do you see a lot of celebrating to do of all your triumphs and all of the different expansion that you've undergone? Yeah.
Yes, totally. And and I'm remembering who I am constantly, you know, the circumstances, the facts, whatever, they're there, but at the same time, it's not the truth of who
Yeah.
we are, right?
That's
So yeah,
beautiful.
it's a big lesson. 2023 is going to be a wonderful year. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. I see it. I see the energy for everybody to really
Mhm.
playing into taking things to a better level and doing
Yeah,
it for ourselves, knowing it's an inside job. So that's
right.
great. So, as a practitioner, is there any knowledge or tips that you would like to share with our community to make celebration a regular part of their lives?
Yeah, and I think it's that give ourselves a little more time each day. What's another 5 minutes or taking 5 minutes and just checking in, asking the questions. How am I feeling? How's my heart feeling? How's my eyes feeling? How's my ears feel? Like take the time because we all need that time, especially now.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful. So, Michelle, would you like to read our affirmation for the month?
certainly would. Um, so I'm going to say it once and we're all going to say it together. And let's say it holding our heart. I celebrate my commitment to living life to the fullest. Say
Hmm.
it together. I celebrate my commitment to living life to the
To-
fullest.
Thank you for your words of wisdom and your sharing your journey. Thank you,
Thank
Michelle.
you,
It's
Reverend Dale.
great seeing you.
You too.
Thank you. Well, now it's my turn to inspire you, and I'm going to be taking a page out of kind of like the old school way that science of mind was taught, but I will not bore you. I promise you of that. For those of you that don't know, we teach the philosophy of Ernest Holmes, and the book that we use is called The Science of Mind. And Science of Mind is also the philosophy that we teach from as well. And really, Science of Mind is just two basic premises that we teach. One is that God is within and around us and everywhere present. And we also teach the law of cause and effect is what runs the universe and our own lives. And traditionally, in spiritual centers that teach Science of Mind, in January, they teach the first four chapters of the book. And as I was thinking about the first four chapters, which I will talk to you about in just a few moments, but as I was thinking about this tradition, I asked myself, why do they do that? Why is it we choose to teach these first four chapters? And so, as I was remembering my life and my entrance into Science of Mind, it all came very clear to me because before I came into Science of Mind, I was very lost in my life. I was kind of rudderless. I had just moved from one city to a new city, and I was starting a brand new life. And I didn't have much of a spiritual philosophy to anchor into. I had studied Buddhism and Taoism and just kind of found my own spirituality, but nothing that really anchored me into spiritual truth and a way of life where I could really create my greatest reality. And so I realized that we teach these first four chapters because for someone like me who was very lost, the first four chapters teach us about the truth, which is that we live in this spiritual universe and that there's this energy that some call God, some call it spirit, some call it infinite intelligence, but there is this energy that is intelligent and that is creative, that is within us, around us, and everywhere present, running this world and this universe. because I used to think that life was random and disorderly and chaotic. But when I came into science of mind, I realized that that is not true, that life, the universe, that everything is very orderly, and that everything runs systematically through cause and effect, and that there is a power within me that I can utilize because it's who I am, that I can use to create my greatest life. And Ernest Holmes said, there is a power for good in the universe and you can use it because you are it. And so our first 4 chapters really are a wake-up call to us to remind us of the power that we are to create our lives, and that life doesn't happen to us, that we can sit in that driver's seat and create our greatest lives. So the first 4 chapters are these. The first one is the thing itself. And that sounds kind of funny, but in Ernest Holmes' time, which was like the early 20th century, that's how he chose to talk about God, the thing itself. Because what Ernest Holmes was trying to do for us, and he was actually ahead of his time, he was trying to teach us that, yes, there are all these ways that people talk about God, whether it's Jesus or Krishna or Allah, whatever. And he wanted to universalize spirituality and God. And so he just called it the thing. And that we, in our different cultures, we give that thing a name. And he wanted us to really see that beyond the words and the names that we call God, that thing is an energy. And it's an energy that is what we are, and it's creative. And that when we acknowledge that energy and we tune into it, we're able to utilize this amazing possibility for us to be anything that we want to be, to do anything we want to do. And so knowing that this thing itself, this God energy, this spirit that we are, knowing that it exists and we acknowledge it and we see it, we are activating within ourselves the greatest power there is. And for me, when I came into science of mind, that was extraordinary because I really thought I was powerless. I thought there was nothing that I could do to change my life. And so when I read the thing itself, it was like, wow, I have this power that is so amazing, that acts upon my word, that when I direct it, it brings forward my greatest reality. When I came into that realization and practiced that, my life transformed because I no longer was a victim. I was now in the driver's seat of my life, able to do whatever I chose to do. And so the second chapter is the way it works. So Ernest Holmes tells us that the way that this thing called God works is that it works through us and as us. That's the beauty of this, that it's not something we need to beg and plead with. It's something that is present, and just acknowledging it brings it to life. And the third chapter is what it does. And so what it does is pretty interesting, because what God does is it shows up in our lives according to our beliefs. So if I believe that God can bring forward prosperity, health and wellness, a relationship, if I believe that, then the thing itself is going to bring that right into my life. So the greater our belief, the greater that this energy of God shows up for us. It's all about cause and effect and what we're believing. And when we believe that there is a power for us to use and we are using it, then that's what happens in our lives. And that allows us to go beyond our restricted thinking, our limitations, because I know a lot of us have grown up to believe that there's only so much we can do and only so much we can be. But when we break free of that and realize that there's an unlimited number of things we can do, unlimited possibilities, then we really tap into our greatest potential that dwells within us. And to me, I love that because it opens up things that might be hidden from us, hidden gems, hidden talents that we've really never allowed ourselves to live into and to activate and to discover and play with, that would create this wonderful life for ourselves. Because when we're really living from the heart and our potential and possibilities, then we're living a life that's in the flow of our divine nature. And I believe that is what Ernest Holmes was trying to teach us, was that, hey, people, you've got a power that is extraordinary. It's time to wake up and use it and live it so that you don't have to live a mediocre life. You can live an expansive life. You can travel the world. You can meet your soulmate. You can create a career that you never thought was possible. He really unlocked the door for us to see that we can do so much more than we've ever been led to believe. And so his last chapter of the first four is how to use it. And we use it through prayer. We use it through affirmation. We use it by realizing and tapping into it in a way where we are using with conscious intention, to use it with conscious intention and to direct this God energy into bringing form of life as we choose to live into it. So these first four chapters are truly, truly magnificent. And for me, they brought my world into a whole nother way of being. I really upped my game because I realized that Ernest Holmes was unlocking something I already knew, but really didn't know how to articulate it or to tune into it. And I'll bet there's many of you out there too, who maybe have a feeling in your heart that there's more to your life than what you've ever allowed yourself to live into, that there's something bigger inside of you that wants to be given permission to come out and play, but you don't know how to approach it. And that is an intuition. And that is something that many, many people who come into science of mind and new thought traditions, they come in thinking that they knew in their heart that that was true, but there was nothing outside of themselves that taught that. And so I love that we're teaching this for you to do these first four chapters. And as we are entering into this new year of 2023, to remind ourselves of who we are and what we can do in our lives. And to see that there's this thing called God inside of ourselves that we are, or love, whatever you want to call it, infinite possibility. And that it works by working through us and as us. And what it does is acts upon our belief in it. So when we up our level of belief in it, we can really maximize and expand outward. And we use it by consciously directing through intention and prayer, consciously directing this energy to show up in our lives in a way that is on our hearts. That's our greatest dream to come into form. And I love the song that Pierre started off with, because it reminded me of that time in my life where I really came into understanding the car of my soul, of my life that I drive, and that life is to be lived into. Life is to be excited about. Life is something that doesn't have to be the same old. It can be something exciting, and that it is up to us. It is up to us to create this life and to realize that there is a power behind us, the universe, that supports us in our dreams. And when we remember that and remember who we are and are in that energy of love, then there's nothing that we cannot do. So it's really about applying these principles in our own lives. No matter what circumstances we find ourselves in, these principles allow us to change anything for the better. I know that for myself in my life, when I find that something isn't going my way, I remember the principles. Rather than getting bogged down in the circumstances, I remember that there's a power inside of me that can change my circumstances in a heartbeat. And so that's how we create our lives. That's how we change our lives. That's how we live our lives, by remembering that there is a principle that when we acknowledge it and use it, my goodness, there's so much goodness that we can bring into our lives just by allowing ourselves to expand outwards, to dream big, and know that we're supported by this great energy, And so if you're something you want to create in your life this next year in 2023, something new, please remember that you don't have to figure it all out. You just need to remember that that power of spirit that you are can work with you, because it works as you, to create something new for yourself. And you don't have to work out the details. You just have to allow yourself to feel into a bigger reality of something you want to bring into 2023, whether it's a new path for yourself, whether it's a new love, whether it's a new car, whether it's better health. Just realize that inside of yourself, it starts with you. By acknowledging the power inside of you, realizing that that power responds to you and your faith in it, and that by tuning in and directing all of that great energy of who you are, of what you want to form into your physical reality, to tune in and bring it in, it'll all work itself through, like what Michelle was talking about. Things just work out when we remember who we are, because we're opening ourselves up and surrendering to a greater intelligence that knows exactly how to bring our greatest life into form, because that's what it does. As Ernest Holmes says, the thing itself, the way it works, what it does, how to use it, tune into those 4 chapters and let your life become your greatest life ever. You've got it inside of yourself to do. Now do it. Namaste. Oh, well, thank you for listening to me. I would like to just open you guys up to this whole other spiritual law of prosperity, of giving and receiving. Because what we do here on Wednesday nights and what this center does just behind the scenes, is growing and it's expanding to create a greater community for people to gather in. And so your financial contributions help this center do what we do and to do more of what we do. And money is just energy. And the more energy we give, the more energy we receive. And so when we're in that law of giving and receiving, as we give, so it comes back into our lives. So I know for all of us here at the center that we're very grateful for whatever you can provide us in the form of prosperity, of financial good. And I know you can go to the website, go to Global Truth Center Toronto. You can donate through there, or you can do an e-transfer through info@globaltruthcentertoronto.com. We would greatly appreciate any gift you could give, and we just love you for what you're able to provide us through your consciousness. I also want to remind all of you that classes started this week on Tuesday. They are at classes at, let's see, I've got to do a transference. It's at 6:30 p.m. your time, because I'm on the West Coast. 6:30 p.m. You can still sign in. The classes taught by a very good friend of mine, Reverend Dr. Lori Savage. She's teaching the mystical universe, and she's really going to teach you how to use these spiritual principles in a very practical way to expand your consciousness, your life experience, and to really see how powerful you are. So join us, and you can go to the website for details as well. So I want to thank everybody. You can see Michelle and Pierre have joined me. I want to thank Carrie, who does the behind the scenes of our live stream. Thank you, Carrie. You're a delight to work with. I want to thank Pierre, wonderful music, and he's got one more he's going to be bringing in. Thank you for your beautiful music. It just worked perfectly for today, as it always does. And Michelle, I want to thank you for your wisdom, your amazing meditation. It just landed so well for me, and I'm sure it did for everyone. So thank you. And I want to thank everybody who's joined us today. Thank you for bringing your consciousness and your love to this sacred space. And we just love you and appreciate you. And I just know for everybody a very wonderful evening and a wonderful 2023 as we use our spiritual principles and our divinity to create our greatest lives ever. So Pierre, I'm going to hand it off to you to sing us out of here.
Okay, great. This is an original called Creator. Hold on one sec. That sounds really loud all of a sudden. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. There we go. If your days are long and you're going home thinking, what's the use not living your dreams? And it seems there's always another excuse. Can't understand why the frustration won't die. It follows you wherever you go. Time and again, laws of attraction won't end. So learn what you need to know. Life happens by chance. Beliefs and circumstance. You are a creator. You are your life maker. Beliefs held in your mind will color your life's design. You are a creator. It's just a shift in consciousness. Where intention goes, energy flows. So it is what it is. The past can't be undone. Bust your heart open wide. A change in the tide has begun. We hold the power to change our lives, to see the world again with new eyes. You are a creator. You are your life maker. Beliefs held in your mind will color your life's design. You are a creator. Let the stories that you tell be a joy, not hell. You're the author of the play. What will you write today? It's just a shift in consciousness. Where intention goes, energy flows. It's a shift in consciousness. Where intention goes, energy flows. You are a creator. Life maker. Beliefs held in your mind will color your life's design. You are a creator. You are your life maker. Creator. You are your life maker. That drum machine.
That was a great song to end on. Thank you, Pierre, and thank you everybody for tuning in. We love